What is the 12th thing that I would do differently if I were going to college today? I would have stayed on track to be the college queen. Hi, I'm Passion Darby, and 31 years ago, almost to date, I made the decision as a then 18-year-old young woman that I was going to college no matter what. And I did go to college that fall. It was actually fall of 1993. So here I am, 31 years later, ironically. And I feel that I have amassed a vast amount of information, knowledge, and wisdom that I will be sharing with you all through this channel. So, what is the 12th thing that I would do differently if I were going to college today? I would have definitely stayed on track to be the college queen. Now, I'm so grateful because I feel so much better today than I've been feeling over the last couple of days. And I'm happy about that because this is a good topic. And I want to bring my best self and my best health to this topic. And this is actually something that I've never talked about. This is one of my biggest regrets from college, but I've never shared it with anybody until today. So let's get started. So, first, what is a college queen? So, I don't really know if predominantly white institutions have college queens and kings because by the time I attended my first predominantly white institution, I was already in graduate school and I was, of course, not interested in that type of activity. But for undergrad, of course, as I share in the first 11 videos, I attended historically Black colleges and universities. And being the college queen and that whole college queen culture at HBCUs is a very, very big deal. It is part of the overall culture, as I just stated. And many people participate, and the institution itself makes a big deal around the whole production of the HBCU queen and her king, as well as her court. So, um, when I began my freshman year at Philander Smith College, now Philander Smith University, located in Little Rock, Arkansas, I really did not understand the magnitude of being the college queen, but I quickly learned because it was, like I said, a very big deal at Philander Smith College. So everybody has an opportunity to be part of the queen's court, and the queen of the college is basically the representative of the college. She's basically the college's ambassador, and she represents the college, whether it is in the media, in the community, or on the campus itself. She's also voted in by her peers, so she's voted in by the classmates, and then once that person is voted in, she basically is the queen of the school for the entire academic year. And it's a pretty big deal. She's also given a coronation every year, which can be a blast if you do it right. And Philander Smith College did it more than right. I can't even articulate how they did it. And then also Alabama State University did it right. And then Clark Atlanta, they just take it to a whole nother level that I can't even describe. You have to see it for yourself. It's wonderful. So but when I was at Philander, I quickly learned the game, and I also was had the great fortune of, because Philander was so small, I had the great fortune of really getting to know the college queen, and I really admired her, and so I really wanted to be part of the court and be part of that whole scene. So I think during my first 2 weeks, I ran or put my name on the ballot to be Miss Freshman, because the Queen's Court will include a Miss Freshman, Miss Sophomore, Miss Junior, and a Miss Senior, and all the other misses, as well as Kings. So I put myself on the ballot to be Miss Freshman, and I won. I was voted Miss Freshman, which was such an honor because I had just arrived and I just immediately loved everybody at the school. Everybody was so great and I was just having the best time. So I'm so grateful that they voted me in and saw me fit to be Miss Freshman. And then I was also voted the freshman class president at Philander Smith College, which means ultimately I was on the path to being the college queen. Becoming Miss Freshman puts one on the path. It doesn't mean you will win, but it certainly puts you on that trajectory. So I feel that I I represented the freshman class well, but I knew that I would be transferring because, as I shared in an earlier video, Philander Smith College unfortunately did not have my major, and so I had to transfer. So I did transfer. I transferred to Alabama State University in Montgomery, Alabama, as I've stated before, and there I had my eyes set on something very different. I decided to be the queen of a dormitory or residence hall instead of the queen of the class, and I set my sights on Martin Luther King Hall. Why? Because at that time I had already been Miss Freshman at Philander, so I really wanted to represent the smartest Black men on campus. I wanted to be their queen. And the smartest Black men on campus lived in Martin Luther King Hall. So I put my name on the ballot for their queen. I did my speeches. I marketed myself around campus, and in Alabama State, that's where I learned to market myself because the campus was a lot bigger. The student population was bigger than Philander. So I had to not just put my name on a ballot and be social to a few hundred people. I had to put my name on a ballot, be social, and market myself to a couple thousand people. So I did that. And I won. And so that made me very proud because, of course, who doesn't want to represent Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in any way, but also to be the queen of the smartest men on campus. And as I shared, and I think the video in the day before last, I really enjoy being around and connecting with and engaging with intelligent Black men. So to be their queen was just beyond my own imagination. And I was so, so grateful. So again, I think I was still on track at that point to be the queen of the college because I was very popular at Alabama State University and I could have leveraged that into being the queen there. But then I transferred again because, as I shared before, Clark Atlanta University did have had not only had my major, but they had the resources to best train me. So I transferred there. And as I shared before with Clark, when I got to Clark, first of all, I earned my first C ever in life at Clark Atlanta University. I was devastated. And secondly, I had to hit the ground running in terms of catching up with my major because my classmates had been there since their freshman year and they were accustomed to using the camera equipment and the journalism equipment, and I was not. So I really put socializing on the back burner so that I can focus on my academic life and transferring. And that is where I got off track from being a college queen. So I um I also feel that being at Philander Smith College allowed me to not only get to know the queen of the college because it was so small, but the queen mentored me in a way that indirectly and directly. She mentored me indirectly because she just carried herself well on campus. And so when I would watch her on campus, because people are always watching, I would just see how she carried herself, how friendly she was. She was very talented. She could sing down. And she was a great singer. She was beautiful, classy, well dressed, and just she was like a social butterfly. And so I was able to get that mentorship through her. But she also lived in the residence hall for a while. And she was friendly to me. And so I was able to listen to her and some guidance that she gave me about how to carry myself as Miss Freshman. And so it was a good mentorship opportunity. But also at Alabama State University, the campus was larger, but it wasn't so large that the queen did not was untouchable. So I was able to talk to her after she graduated, in fact, and get some steps from her about how to carry myself as Dr. Martin Luther King Hall. And also, I was a part of her court. Her court was so royal that year; it was unbelievable. And she was very good about talking to her court And so I was able to get mentorship from her just from being around her and being part of the court and practicing for coordination because her coordination was amazing. So that was my experience in the Queen's Court and why I feel that I never reached that goal of being a college queen, although I had great potential and I was on track. So some of the things that I feel that deterred me from being the college queen, other than what I've already mentioned, is number one, transferring. When I transferred from Philander, I lost that leverage that I had built as Miss Freshman. Transferring from Alabama State University, where I was able to regain some leverage, but I lost that leverage again when I transferred to Clark Atlanta University. Number two, getting my first C at Clark Atlanta. Listen, I'm a student first. And there was no way I was going to come home to my parents and say, and my grandma, and say, I'm the queen of the campus, but I got kicked out of school for grades. No way. So I focused in on my education and left my visions of being a college queen behind. Number three, I lost touch with the people who taught me about queenship in terms of HBCU culture. So when I transferred to Clark, I lost touch with the queen, the then queen, the woman who was the queen when I was at Philander, and the woman who was the queen when I was at Alabama State. So I lost that mentorship from those ladies. Number four, dating. I was dating a lot. I was dating a lot at Philander too in Alabama State, but I think my dating life at Clark Atlanta University with all of those beautiful men really threw me off track. So again, I got lost. Number five, I was less social. And so as I moved towards graduation, I lost my social butterflyness a little bit because I was trying to graduate. But I, looking back, I don't think I should have done that because you need to be social if you want to roll like the college queen. And then also number six, I started employment. My father told me I wanted to move off campus in my senior year at Clark, and my father told me that if I wanted to move off campus, I would have to pay for it myself. And so I got a job and I paid for it myself. And so once you get into the grown up world, all of that campus fun stuff can be left behind. And for me, it was not that I didn't have fun on campus because I really, really did, but I left I want to be the college queen. I want to be the senior class president. All of that engagement, I left that behind. And then moving off campus. So that year that I moved off campus in my senior year, it removed me from the social activities of the campus. So, even though I went to campus almost every day, me having to leave campus, get on at that time, get on the bus and get back home in time before it gets dark and stuff like that, it removed me from the college lifestyle, and therefore I lost my interest in being the college queen. So if you are considering or are planning to be the queen of your college, or the king, because the queen does have a king, and just like I was Miss Freshman, there was a Mr. Freshman, and there are many opportunities for both men and women, young men and women on college campuses to be part of the Queen's Court or to be part of the overall student government or any even the student senate. There's so many different roles that students can get involved with on campus. So if you're interested in doing something like that, here are some tips. I think I have 11 that'll help you do differently than what I did. Number one, decide on the role of the position or the honor that you want to have while you're in college. If you haven't gone to college yet, decide that position now and get on track now. If you have gone to college or you've already started and you're going back and you're thinking, okay, I know the game now, and when I go back, I'm going for that queenship, or I'm going for that kingship, or I'm going for the to be the president or the SGA government president or something like that. This, or if you're in another country like in Ghana, they have the SRC. That's a big deal at Ghana universities, Ghanaian universities. So if you're looking for that, start now. Make your plan right now. Number two, Contact someone who already occupies that role currently and ask them how they did it, and ask them if they will mentor you. And that's kind of what I did, and that really helped me out. Number three, create a plan or strategy for achieving your goal. So even I don't think I really had a plan for me being Miss Freshman because I did not know the game of that culture at that time. But when I got to Alabama State, oh, the game that I played. I strategized so well that I knew I was going to win. And I also had very stiff competition. The young woman who was running against me was stunning. She was stunningly beautiful. And she was also just as articulate as I was and just as intelligent as I was, but she didn't have a plan. That's the that's the difference. She didn't have a plan. I had a plan. I had written out my plan over the summer because I knew I wanted to be Mrs. Dr. Martin Luther King Hall. So sit down and write your plan out and strategize and make it happen. Number four, stick to the plan. Don't get distracted. Don't let dating throw you off. Don't let um, poor poor college behavior to throw you off track. Don't allow your grades to get damaged or to suffer because of your plan. Stick to your plan and remember you are a student first. Number five, stay responsibly social. So stay social because in order for you to get the votes on campus and for people to know your name and know what you're about and know what you represent, you're going to have to be social. You have to be out there meeting people, greeting people, being kind to people, getting to know people, and letting people get to know you. But do so responsibly and remember that you only get one time to make a first impression, and also your reputation will follow you. Character is everything. So your reputation will follow you on and off campus. Number six, dress like the role that you want to be or the position that you want to be. So, I've always been a dresser. I really don't care about dressing up anymore. But when I was younger, I was a dresser. And when I saw how the queen of Philander Smith dressed and the queen of Alabama State University dressed, I mimicked my wardrobe after them for the most part because I wanted to be the college queen one day, or at least that was my aspiration then. And I made sure that I pulled those pieces out of my wardrobe that made me appear as if I had visions or I had plans on being the college queen. So you need to do the same. Number seven, meet the academic criteria for your role. So a lot of times you cannot run for the queen or anything else if you are not in good academic standing. So make sure that you are always in good academic standing. You don't want to come to the point where you got everything else together and then you can't put your name on the ballot because you have a poor GPA or you've gotten in trouble on campus or you've done something um, unintelligent off campus and it got back to campus. You don't want to mess that up. So um, make sure that you understand the criteria for the role that you want and then make sure you achieve that criteria. Number eight, don't transfer if you can help it because when you go to a college and you want to become the representative of that college, you really need to set up roots at that college. And transferring can make you lose those roots. Now, fortunately, I was very lucky. For some reason, the people I met in my first year at Philander, to be honest with you, those are the people I still know today. I don't even know a lot of people from Alabama State anymore. And I probably still communicate with a few people from Clark Atlanta University, and maybe I wouldn't even say more than 20 people from Clark Atlanta University. But the majority of people is from Philander. So for some reason, I was able to set up really good roots there. But that doesn't often happen. So wherever you go, try to do a good, wherever you select to go to college, try to select the college where you can put your roots down so that you can stay there for all 4 years and really get to know the student population and the staff and the administrator, because sometimes those people can help you in your quest to achieve your goal as well. So try to put down roots and just stick your whole foot into these colleges and these campuses and just enjoy it. Number nine, understand that you are a walking brand. Carry yourself well in all college contexts. You never know who's watching. So remember, I said the college queens that were the queen when I was in college. I was watching them, and some of them, one of them knew I was watching them, and one found out later, but I was watching them. So we never know who's watching us. So always carry ourselves well, because they may be the people voting for you one day. Number 10, learn to fundraise because you will need it for marketing. These days, you need to market yourself. I didn't have to do a lot of fundraising and for when I put my name on the ballot for Miss Freshman, but I did a little fundraising when I wanted to be Miss Dr. Martin Luther King Hall at Alabama State University. However, the college queen, when she's running to be the college queen, she's trying to be elected as college queen, she must market, and she must market on campus as well as off campus. She has to get billboards and all kind of things, and that can cost you money. So learn how to fundraise. And finally, be nice to local businesses because you may need them for marketing. Wouldn't it be great if they put your picture up in their storefront window, or if they have a digital sign in their parking lot, they may say vote for such and such, or they might fund your whole campaign. You just never know. So be nice to local businesses. Don't go on the local businesses being disrespectful or being dishonoring. Speak to them, introduce yourself, always be friendly because you never know who you might need. So, in closing, I want to give a shout out to all the HBCU queens and kings. And I thank you all for listening. And please go to college. Thank you.